I think we're live. Just hello there. As always, just let me know that sound and everything is working. But nonetheless, I think we are live, and thank you for joining. If you're watching, it'd be great if you are watching to just say hello in the chat. Let me know you're there. It's always nice to know that you're here. Welcome to the show on this lovely Saturday evening, at least in this part of the world. It's evening, maybe it's morning, maybe it's afternoon or morning or where, who knows where it is you are from in the world. But today we're gonna be making some environments. We're kind of just gonna go from scratch from a basically empty scene in Blender, and we're just gonna start making some environments. So I'm gonna kind of take you through the process I've been using for the last couple of months. This is a very fast process. I'm not going to be going through exactly what you do, but if you have questions along the way, then please ask away. Questions are super welcome. And in general, if you have any other questions about anything else that I do or whatever is happening, you are super welcome to just ask away. It's a stream after all, so we don't really know where it's going to go, but today we'll be trying to make environments. And the environments we'll be making will be kind of part of this world build that I'm going on called Black Horizon. So we'll be doing probably some kind of alien sci-fi world kind of thing. We're definitely going to be starting off with that. I've also just been trying to figure out how to get some music running, because it just felt like maybe that would be nice and stuff like that. But yeah. Good to see everyone. Hello Shadon, hello there, hello Rob C, hello Schultz Division. I know there's more people watching, but it feels like you guys are hiding. You don't want to make yourself known. That's also fine. You don't have to, but it's just nice to know who is here. And I welcome you to join the chat. So I'm just gonna spend 2 minutes trying to get some music working, and I think I just need to turn down the PC sound a little bit, because if I just turn it on, oh, it depends on which scene I'm in. So if I put this on here, then like that, then I'm gonna put on some music like this, which is very loud for me. And I don't think you guys can hear it at all. Oh, it's there a little bit. Okay. That's not the music I want to put on, but I'm just gonna I'm probably just gonna make a little bit of a playlist, because what I want to make sure is that it's not copyrighted and stuff like this. So I'm gonna take these songs, put them over here. So sorry, that's just gonna be like 2 minutes of me being slow. There, stream. Anything you guys would like to see? Today's subject is environments, so if you have anything you would like to know about making environments or about Black Horizon of the world, then please let me know. I will switch the screen over as soon as I got this music running, but let me know what you'd like to see, or hope that everyone's doing good. Is anyone working on anything cool? What's the haps? So I got that music there. I always tend to lose the chat at some point during the stream. I'm working, and then I'm moving windows around, and then the chat just completely disappears. Okay, I got this going on here. How much is that? We'll start with that. Then we'll just let it kind of loop. I'll add it to a playlist here. Move there. Then playing. Then we're gonna just let me know how loud that is for you guys. Just somebody let me know, because then and it's just to keep everything a little bit chill. Let's switch over to the scene. There we go. Okay, cool. So what's gonna happen as these instruments are playing along? is that we are gonna try a few things. I've actually been really trying to get into geonodes, not like doing anything really complicated, except for trying to do like kind of hydraulic erosion, if you guys are familiar with that, but essentially simulating rainfall onto an environment and things like that. But otherwise, I've been using it to create a basic terrain or something like that. So that's kind of what I'm going to start off by doing. So if you're not familiar with geometry nodes or something like that, then maybe this is a quick introduction to it or something like that, which I've never really done on the channel, but hopefully we can get something running here. Geometry nodes editor, cool. So what I like doing is that I like just creating an object, and then I use the geometry nodes to create the actual deformation and the noise and stuff, where oftentimes in the past I would maybe used I use the shader editor a lot, or just using the display stuff on the modifiers, but the geonodes are actually a really nice way of creating some stuff. And what you can do here is you can create a new geometry node setup, and then we can create a grid. And with the grid, I'm going to set it to just 512, and then I'm going to scale to 10 for any good reason here, and then we're just going to plop that in. And then we get this, and then the wireframe, it looks like this, so we have lots of detail to the form. And I want to start making some terrain. Generally, my approach when making environments now exclusively is to make an actual physical environment where everything is in correct scale. The whole thing about doing thumbnailing for creating good compositions and figuring out the environment that way, I think I've just concluded that I just don't like doing that anymore. Like it has its uses for sure, and I do like sometimes making a 2D painting, but then it's for a 2D painting. I think all things in nature, they didn't come about by somebody envisioning a 2D sketch and then making the environment. You know, an architect doesn't work like, oh, does it look good from this angle, or you know, nature stuff just grows, or anything we build or think. Oh, sorry. It just it comes about in a different way. It comes about in a spatial way, if that makes sense. So I've just concluded to like, I want to get good at that. I want to get good at thinking spatially, or better at thinking spatially. And so when making environments now, if I can think spatially, I do that. And then when making shots, it becomes more this thing of like, I'm making a city or making a space, an environment, and then I act as a photographer afterwards in that environment and trying to photograph what I've made. And that works for me. Like, and I think it's and I think it can also be really good if you're interested in making, you know, level design or stuff for games, or actually making something that should be practical for a movie set or something like that, just thinking spatially. But if you're doing some like a purely 2D project, then maybe it's a little bit different. Everything has their uses, but I like thinking spatially. So I'm going to start off making a landscape here, and what I want to do is I kind of want to create... This music is a little bit too intense right now, so I'm just going to switch it to the next one. That's a little bit more my speed right now. Hello to the extra people there. Schultz Division just finished a 10 seconds video render. Took almost 10 hours. Damn. Do you have like a million samples? Love geonodes. Okay, that's great. Geonodes are awesome. They can do lots of cool stuff, and they have also lots of stuff that they can't do yet, which can be frustrating at times, but so far it's they're great. Hello Dio, hello Cannoneer, Kenji, hello my dudes. Also be great, you know, like as I said before, we are doing this environment for Black Horizons, so in the beginning we're just going to be building up a little bit of stuff, like actually making some visual things, and then what exactly it's going to become and the ideas for it, they will kind of come along the way. So we'll start off very visually and then transition into something a little bit more conceptual. So what I would like here, you cannot hear the music, is that what you're saying? I mean, I think it's there. When I get to the cameras, I'll tell you about it. Just like what, a little bit what to think about. Okay, so I want to start off with I'm going to show you guys a trick for creating really kind of quite interesting and organic looking terrain very, very simply and very fast with a little trick that not a lot of people know about. So the thing is, we have this grid, and then what we want to do is we want to set the position for each of the vertices. I'm going to use that using a set position node. I'll do that there, and we're going to modify the offset by saying combine XYZ like that. I might turn the music down a little bit for myself. Wait, so I'm going to set this to 50. I'm going to set this down to 20. Oh, it's so loud. Why is it so loud? There, and then I'm going to turn it up for you guys a little bit. There. There, hopefully that's bearable. Or maybe it's immensely loud now. Let me know if it's a good volume. Just okay, so we got the combine YC, then I got the Voronoi, we'll plop that in, and then we get this kind of stuff here. And then it's loud in it. Damn it. Maybe here? We'll try there. Okay, so we got this stuff here. Then one day I will have mastered the volume of everything. We got a Voronoi kind of in that scale there. Multiply. Math. Multiply it there. There we go. Okay, cool. And then we're starting to get this kind of a terrain kind of thing here. The issue is now that this looks absolute garbage. You know, like it doesn't look like an actual terrain. But what you can do is that you can modify the vector of the thing. If you're not really playing around with the vectors or the, let's say the distribution of this noise here, then basically the vector is how it's supposed to be placed on the vertices. And if you modify that a little bit, then you can get some cool results. And one of the ways of doing that is grabbing a noise texture and then mixing it with a color mix here. Color mix, well, which is the factor like that. And mixing it with the actual position of the thing. So I take the position here and then I put that into the vector, and then we're gonna get this kind of funky stuff. And then I'm gonna bring that kinda over here to maybe 0.9. And then I'm gonna get this kind of detail here. And then I'm also gonna multiply this with something kind of like this here. Let's see. Let's check the scale here. You can start getting these kind of pretty interesting looking stuff. That can be a good place to start. I'm going to grab a ramp, and then I'm going to set this to ease just to see what we get, and then maybe I can what about linear? Maybe even a little bit distortion. No, maybe this is just too big. Let's see here. We got that. We got that. We got that. Maybe a little bit more distortion. And then maybe this one here. Let's see what we can get. linear. Oh, actually, no, that's the wrong place. We'll take this one and put it here. Let's see where we can get these. Because then we can start getting these effects like this, and that's kind of what I want. Gaia is an amazing software, 100%. For those of you who don't know, Gaia is basically a tool to do like kind of simulated terrains. So you can basically do hydraulic erosion, all that kind of stuff. And it's a really awesome piece of software. There's also World Creator, which I think Gaia is node-based and World Creator is kind of layer-based. Both really cool. But I'm kind of a purist, and I really wanna be able to do this kind of stuff in Blender just for the fast and rapid usability. I hate changing software, and with geometry nodes, it's especially with simulation nodes and the new repeat zones and stuff. Then we're very close, and I'm actually spending some time these couple of days trying to figure it out. But here we got this, and that's starting to look pretty interesting. I really like these kind of transitions here and gradients there. Just want to see what we got. A little bit more plain stuff. We got those kinds of things there. That's cool. These ridges are there. That is kind of nice. I'm gonna give everything a little bit of a variation by grabbing another noise node. And then I'm gonna multiply the whole shebang by that. So we're gonna kind of do like this. And then give it another multiply. Then we get this kind of variation. And that can look quite nice. Get some very natural looking stuff. You see, like, you'd be surprised as to like how much you can do with just noise. Obviously adding erosion will do a lot. So right now I think I'm just looking for a shape. Like I'm actually not going in with a huge plan. I'm just trying out the noises and then seeing what I'm getting. And right now I'm getting these like really cool, those kinds of things. I really like those. And I've actually been playing around with a trick for making lots of trees. Oh, I wonder if I have it here somewhere. So maybe it'll be a forested area, but I'm not super sure. Let's see here. Are these the tools? Where would I have these trees? Trees. Remember to save my progress. No, I'm gonna keep you on the edge and just like not save this for the entire 2 hour that we're gonna be going. Oh yeah. To give you the second-hand jitters. No, I will save at some point. That would be very mean. But you know, I mean, some people do get it. I'm terrible at saving, which probably you people who are watching the thing already knows that I forget all the time. Huh, I can't find these trees. Where the hell did I put these trees? Island. What the hell is that? Island. I should really figure out like a system for saving all my stuff. You know how many drawings and like pieces of work I've lost over the years? With like just many, you know, because I forget to save, something crashes or who knows, you know, it just happens. Tree? Where's tree? File open recent? Trees. Course get trees, okay. I did actually have them in a location that made some amount of sense. Oh, I want to show you guys a I want to show you guys a trick with Cryptomat. Actually, I have a bunch of tricks I want to show you guys that I've discovered in the past kind of month. So I actually think there will be a lot of really valuable information for those of you who are interested in doing environment art or rendering stuff from Blender. And it will all come towards the end, but there's some really cool tricks that I've only recently myself discovered. Hello Jurassic Ham 22, hello sir. Cannoneer Kenji writes, your last work with the reworked Greek temple feels very fresh and clean, even supremistic. Awesome stuff, thanks for inspiration. My last work, are you referring to some of the stuff that I posted? Like on Reddit or on where you... is it this stuff or is it like this stuff? I guess this is a little bit of both. So is it like this or like this red thing you're thinking about? Maybe it's this. Or maybe you're thinking of something completely different and I'm an idiot. Okay. What was the thing? I was doing trees, right? Sorry, I got distracted. I'll show you this thing with the trees. So, there's an issue. If you want to render a bunch of trees, then you could probably do that in Unreal. But in Blender, not so much. You can use instancing, but it's not going to be as powerful. And then you're like, oh, you know, Unreal is just better. It's like, sure, Unreal is maybe it's better, but like I think fundamentally they're two different tools, right? Like Blender is for modeling and handling mesh, and Unreal is for making games. You know, that's kind of what the two things are for. And I know lots of concept artists now are talking about using Unreal as a visualization tool, and you can totally use it that way. I'm still just gonna stick with Blender. I think that's what works for me. Either way, the issue is that in Blender, it basically has to keep all the mesh data in memory all the time, because you want to be able to go into edit mode and edit the stuff really fast. In Unreal, not so much, you know, so they can do a lot of optimizations, where in Blender you're keeping a lot of the data like fast and accessible, but then the performance hit is that you're not going to be able to have as many trees as once. You know, that's just how it works. It's a bit too loud. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Thank you, Schultz. I'm gonna put it down there. Hopefully that will be a little bit more nice. Any case, then but I do have this trick that I kind of been developing, and it looks like this. So right now it doesn't look awesome, but basically we have a lot of trees, and from the distance it could probably look pretty good. The thing is, this tree is all exactly the same tree, you know, and they're just cards, right? But then the trick that I made is that you can see this tree is literally just cubes. Cube tree, it's a terrible tree. But the trick is that, let's see, I'm gonna start like going over here. You can see there's like a divide right there. All right, there's a divide. And then when I go over, you can see the trees are no longer, they're like that, and I can keep going. And you're like, oh, wait, what? They have switched, and now you're seeing the trees from above. What's going on? So the thing is that actually what's happening is that there are 3 different kinds of trees, and they look like, I wish I had them ready, then that would have been way more impactful. There are 3 different kinds of trees, and they look like this. That's not it. That's not a tree. Like this. And then there's a normal map for it. And then a global normal map. And like this, where it's a little bit more of an angle. And then one from the top. And then what I'm doing is that basically, as the camera is looking at the trees from a different angle, the planes, they tilt. And then the texture on the trees, or basically the material, switches depending on how rotated they are. So then you can kind of have this like forest from any angle that's way more performant with way more trees. And that's just kind of awesome. So yeah, that's a little trick. I'm still developing the technique a little bit further, but this is just one tree with some color variation. So if I did, you know, like 20 trees, then I think actually it could look quite good. And you can see there's a little bit of weirdness with the shadow right now, like the way that this is happening. But from some angles, it works quite well. So I just need to get that solved a little bit nicer. Right there. Pretty cool nonetheless. So yeah, so that's something that's happening. Where do we come from? Trick from old games, definitely a trick from old games. Okay, back to this one. So we're making this environment. We're probably also going to do some kind of structure. Hello, welcome to everyone. I want to learn Blender, but I don't know how to begin. I recommend watching my video on my YouTube channel called Blender Beginners for Concept Art. It is kind of with Blender in mind for making images, but it's a very good introduction to Blender in general. Otherwise, you know, there's always Blender Guru. But Blender Beginners for Concept Art is very efficient. Okay. I'm just looking at this. Let's get some material on this thing already, just so we have something to start. And look how simple it is, and we already got this kind of stuff going on. So let's get a material put on this one. So set material geometry. If you're new to Blender, then geonodes is not where you would start. So this might look a lot more complicated than it needs to be. Create a new material called terrain, and we're gonna set the terrain here. Gonna look at it in Eevee. Gonna switch to shader mode. If you guys didn't know, you can click this and then you can basically press some of the different keys. If you press G, it goes to geometry nodes. If you press S, it goes to shader editor. I tend to use that more so than these ones. Sometimes I switch to these ones, but yeah, I like just having two windows. There we go. There's the thing. Then we're gonna get a normal. Nope, that's not what I want. I want a texture coordinate. There we go. Normal, and then I'm gonna separate X, Y, Z. I'm gonna ramp. There we go. And then we are gonna put that into a mix. I'm gonna put it into the fact. Nope, not mix shader. Oh wait, mix shader. Mix shader actually. Mix shader. We're gonna have two different shaders. Plug in, and plug in. Like that. And then we're gonna have this thing going on here. So, just to see what's actually going on, you can see that just with this stuff here, we're getting some really kind of interesting and natural separations in this environment here. And we're also having kind of shading flat here, so I'm going to go back to this and set this as shade smooth. Set shade smooth, like that. There we go. And we could always increase the resolution. I might do that by giving it like this here. That then it should be available here. Then I can set it to 1024. Then we just get a little bit more detail. I'm not really liking this that much. That probably comes from this thing here, which I don't really enjoy. Oh, that's interesting. Can I get in these like warply features? That is nicer though, because it's a bit smoother. That is interesting. I like that. I'm getting these things here. Okay, what I want to bring in now is I want to bring in a little bit of texture. And we could sit and make textures in Blender, but it's a lot better to bring in some actual textures. And we could do that from Megascans or wherever you want to bring them from, but I just have some textures lying around that I think I'm gonna use instead. What should I use here? Kinda want a grass texture. A good place to get textures, if you don't know, is to go to Polyhaven. If you don't have access to Megascans or whatever, then Polyhaven is amazing. It's all open source, you can just use whatever you want to use, and here there is lots of great stuff. For example, if you wanted to get some terrain, then there is rocks, and this one is quite nice. And I think I have some of them lying around already. Let's see here. Textures. Shared textures. I do have rock here that I'm gonna bring in. So I got, I've got this rock where I got the different materials. And the roughness. That's pretty fine. I'm gonna put that on the white side here. Remember to put these guys to non-color. It's important, otherwise you don't get the correct color curve or whatever. It's mostly just the stuff that is actual color. Then you want to make sure you have it to sRGB for the colors to appear the way they should. So right now it's just all, we can't see anything, and that's because the mapping is currently awful. So I'm gonna set that to object. And what I like to do is create another object, basically I'm gonna create a plane actually. I just put it there. I'm gonna call this one the scale plane. I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna set this to the scale plane. So now when I scale the plane, then you can see the texture there is moving. But then you can control the size that way. I'm just gonna set this to green. Or turquoise. That's interesting. Maybe there's something for us to learn there. I'm just gonna create a little bit of a stronger transition. Then we're getting this kind of stuff. That's awesome. And we're getting the rocks and cliffs there. So how are these actually being mapped? Let's see. Actually looks pretty good just this way. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Then we can bring in all of these there and there. Boop. Then we have that material. And there's so many ways of saving assets, saving materials, saving pre-made assets. There's so many ways of optimizing your workflow, having Megascans, just taking all those kinds of things in. I think the thing and I use those things also. I think there's something really, really useful in being able to have a completely empty scene in Blender and just going from absolute nothing to something. And I think the thing is that whenever you want to make something that your assets can't assist with, then you still have all the tools at your disposal. So I actually practice this a lot, where I will make something completely from scratch as much as possible, just to keep myself flexible to new ideas and those kinds of things. We talked a little bit before in some other streams, but my workflow in general is to just figure out as much as I can in my mind and then start working. Right now I'm going a very visual way, so that's not really the approach right now, but I think there's something in, I think it was Hans Zimmer who, I think it was a masterclass where he was talking, and it was really fascinating. But basically he describes his process for starting to make music for or a score for a film or something. And he said that every time he makes a new film, he removes his entire audio library you know, he doesn't delete it, but he removes the entire thing and he starts from scratch recording new sounds just to make sure everything is fresh, and he goes at it from a different angle. Because so often when you just have all the tools at your disposal, you'll just go the same way. And I think that's also one of the reasons for starting from absolute scratch, is that maybe you'll do a different approach. And if I hadn't been doing that, I would never gotten into like making environments in GeoNodes, because I might just you know, I'll just take some Megascan stuff and just put it together. But often what happens is just you put it together the same way, and that's also a way, you know. But I really appreciate that from Hans Zimmer. He also described this thing where he, if any of you draw out there, like do actual drawing, either in Photoshop or by hand or something, you might find that if you just get the pencil in your hand and you have a piece of paper, you're probably very likely to just, if you're not really thinking about what you're drawing, then you might be drawing just the same thing. And everyone has something. You know, for some people it's a face, and you could probably feel it in your hand right now. It's like, oh, I draw like a face or a cube or a bunch of lines, or maybe for me it's like drawing like giant bodies for some reason, right? And if you just let your hand and your motorics do all the work, then you're gonna move in the same patterns. So it can be very good to figure out what you're doing before you start working. And I think Hans Zimmer, he said that whenever he has to start making something, he purposely sits on his own hands, because he knows if his hands gets to start, then he'll move in a pattern that he's already moved in before. So he sits on his own hands to make sure that he has a goal before he starts. I really appreciate that. I think that's super cool. Okay, we got the rocks. Let's get back to the stuff here. We're gonna put this into the normal map here. Color it. There we go. Bloop. Then we're gonna get a little bit of detail. And as I'm making this environment, I'm starting to imagine a place. I don't quite know what it is yet, but I'm slowly getting there. Yeah, this looks kind of nice. Then I want to do the same thing with this grass stuff here. So I want to find a grass thing. Let's see if I have a grass texture lying around. Dry grass, I don't want that. Aerial grass. Okay, that looks pretty good. Actually, I'm just going to copy that. There we go. Plop that in. And then a normal map. These are 8K textures. Oh, why am I working with 8K textures? That's a little bit on the heavy side. Or on the rough side. Roughness map. Jokes. Non-color. There we go. Nope. I think as soon as I see the landscape, then I'll start getting that idea of like what needs to be here and where this is. Roughness and normal. The normal map color. There we go. Oh, these 8K textures is not so good. Oh, it's definitely not good. Okay. We got something going on now. We got something. I mean, look how actually natural this is, and there's no Gaia or anything involved. It's just noise, but we're getting some really kind of natural shapes. I'm actually kind of impressed that we got to the stage. And we could always go in here now in geometry nodes and change, you know, every single thing about this. It's gonna complain a little bit because it's a little bit heavy, but you know, that's pretty awesome. Okay, so this grass is texturing a little bit too much for my taste here. I think I'm gonna scale the grass, and then we're gonna pull back the scale of this thing here. Oh, by attaching it to a value. Remember to save. Okay, I'll save just for you, Schultz. Just for you. Terrain, big O. There we go. Got that going on, that's great. And then maybe a little bit of softness there. Maybe bringing, we can bring that down a little bit. Kind of like that, cool. Then I want to make it alien. And I think when I saw that turquoise before, that gave me the inspiration. So it's a place, it's Namek. I just realized now it's Namek. For those of you who don't remember, basically in Dragon Ball, there's this planet called Namek that looks like this. You know, it's just in my head. I was thinking like, oh, that's a good idea, and then it's already been done. But that's okay. We're making something a little bit similar to this. Okay, we're gonna hue shift this bad boy here. Gonna bring it towards this kind of a turquoisey thing. Gonna give it a little bit of saturation here. What's gonna happen with the value here? It's gonna make it a little bit brighter. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Gonna delete the light here, bring in a sunlight. Make sure that I'll probably just set this down to 2. Sun, we're gonna set the sun to 5. And then just start getting something. So what are we getting here? Yeah, you know, like, I'm already feeling this. I can see it. You know what I mean? Okay, here's another little trick to give your environment stuff like a little bit of definition. And this is all stuff to like make it work fast, you know. It's not to make the best environment possible. This is kind of getting results fast. But if you use ambient occlusion, and now we have to switch to cycles. So I'm gonna switch to cycles, set to GPU, denoise. I'll set my samples to 128. 128. There we go. Then I'm gonna get a ramp node here. And then we're gonna look at this kind of stuff. Put it to cycles. There we go. So now we're gonna get these pockets here. Like this. And we're gonna increase this to maybe 20. We're gonna get these really interesting little pockets. I'm gonna use these pockets to discolor the stuff in different ways. So we're gonna bring it here, bring all this over here, load it up, like that, like that, like that, like that. Oh, actually that one's in the beginning. So this one, I'm gonna get a mix node, set it to color, and then this one is gonna go up to this one here, and maybe we're just gonna flip it actually. There we go. Then you can see we can use this to do something. I'm gonna probably set it to overlay. Let's see what we can get. Oh, maybe screen actually. Maybe screen is nice. Screen. There we go. Then you can kind of get these like it's just these things that they sit in a different place where than the normal, like the slope thing we had before. And it just adds a little bit of definition. And screen is a nice way of maintaining a little bit of semblance, and then we can use the same thing down here. Boop. Bring that into the factor. Oof, that's not good. Oh, that's not what we want. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. There we go. Come on. Wait. Hello, open from Tajikistan, Central Asia. Now I know what Tajikistan is. I actually just met. Let's see here. Isn't I think Jama Jurabayev is from Tajikistan. I just met Jama 3 weeks ago. I think he's from Tajikistan. Yeah, he's not from Kyrgyzstan, he's from Tajikistan, I think. Do not delete this live stream, I will not. Do you try to make erosion defined by vector, like for windy valleys, for example? Cannoneer, I tried doing hydraulic erosion. Actually like simulated like droplets going down. Very similar to the technique demonstrated in Sebastian Lauge. Hydraulic erosion. Active search erosion. Basically here. Then we have this effect. Like this. Yeah, like this. So you start off with this kind of noise thing, and then it's like then hydraulic erosion. I'm trying to do this in geometry nodes, basically. And I'm getting close. My biggest problem is this like sediment down here in the bottom. It's giving me some issues, but I'm getting the actual carving into the surface. Okay, yeah, this is looking pretty cool. I'm definitely liking where it's going. I think we can add a little bit of an HDRI, and I do have an asset library, so I'm gonna cheat here a little bit, but that's just for the HDRI. And then we're gonna probably create some kind of structure. Why is my Instagram link not working? Do I have an Instagram link that's not working? Is it in the description? Oh my god, have I just had an Instagram link that's not working for like a million years? Oh, that's retarded. Oh, I'm so sorry, but is it too long? Wait, what's going on? No, that can't be. Okay, wait, I'll just fix it in the description immediately. Oh my god, I must have had this on so many things. I'm realizing now. Thank you. Should have been fixed now. See if the Instagram thing's working. I'm not super active on Instagram. Check me out on ArtStation or Reddit, where I'm a lot more active. Can these environments be used for macro shots? I mean, you can use them for whatever you want, but I guess you would need a lot of detail, because as soon as I go close, it's kind of like, you know, it's not great. Let's get a shot here. Maybe cloud, no, maybe this one. I'm gonna pull it in, and then it's gonna be like, oh no, I'm so slow. So we're gonna go to S, I'm gonna go to world. So we're gonna get, yeah, that feels pretty good. Now it's the big debate, like, do you use only the HDRI, or do you combine it with the sun? So we're gonna find the HDRI here. We're gonna make sure it goes into a background, like so. And then we are gonna do this. And then we can rotate around the Z axis if we need to. And we'll get different sunlights on the thing. It's definitely too bright for my taste. Gonna darken it down. Then we could match the sun up to this thing. And then color the sun a little bit. Yeah, we could have two suns. It's an alien world after all. Ooh. No, that's way too much. Yep. I'm liking that. Let's just see what we ended up doing with this this stuff here. What did that end up looking like? It's a little bit. Not enough. So what I tend to do then is that once I have something like an environment that I kind of like, and I kind of like this thing now, then I take it, I duplicate it. I should probably go into solid mode here. I duplicate it, random. Then I visual geometry to mesh. So now this is actually a piece of mesh. There's no longer any geometry, anything on it. And then I just have this piece, but then it's not super performant, you know, because it is a little bit high in detail, because it's 1,000 by 1,000, so it's 1,000,000 polygons. So what you want to do is that then you can decimate the whole thing, and by decimating it you can kind of maintain a lot of the detail, but not having it as high poly. And obviously if you have a beast of a computer, then maybe you don't care, but sometimes you want to do a lot of stuff, and then this is a little bit too much. So I go here, I go decimate, then I turn this off, so this is 0.1, turn that back on, then probably that's gonna jump down to around 100,000, maybe just 200,000. It's not always super consistent, but let's see what it gives us. We got 200,000, that's fine, I'm gonna apply that. And then we essentially have a tile that we can use to make our landscape. And you've now created this kind of asset that that you can use to create this entire world. Okay, cool, I got that, so I'm gonna hide this one. We don't need that for now. We still need that guy. And then we're just gonna look at our scene. And everything should look the way it usually looks. Just waiting for it to respond here. It's probably those 8K textures, I think. They're causing us some grief. Maybe we can also close a little bit of stuff here. Close, close, close. Just make sure I don't close YouTube. Yeah, that's great. That's the way we want it. I'll go back to Eevee. This is going to be a little bit faster. And then we can start scattering these around. Can you recommend any good YouTube videos, or are you planning to make any videos in the future about how to optimize a model for games topologies, how to properly reduce a polygon? I also want to ask if there's any lessons on YouTube on how to properly create an ArtStation account. So by probably creating an ArtStation account, do you mean like making your portfolio look good, or how to make the actual account? Because making the account is, you know, you just make the account. Maybe that's what you're talking about, like with the portfolio. With portfolio, all I can say is just like, if you're using it as a portfolio website and you want to use it to get jobs, then figure out where you want to get a job, and then just look at people who have a similar job to what you're doing, and then do what they're doing. So especially presentation and the kind of work that they're doing. YouTube videos for, I'm not planning on making any kind of game optimization asset videos. Any recommendations? I don't actually have any recommendations on specifically for games. I think there's a lot of stuff that is wrong out there. I did go to school for 3D assets and for making computer graphics and things, and I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong, there's just good and bad. And you know, so I think start somewhere, and then you'll find something that that works. Trial and error is your friend. Okay, so we got this asset. Then what I like doing is duplicating it, which we can do now, and then I can scale it. But you can see the scaling, it doesn't change the slope for the thing, and that's just something to do with scaling. But if I press apply like this, then it does. So now we have this plane. I can put that there. Then I can do something like this, and then I can start intersecting these things a little bit, that's kind of what I want to do here. Kind of like the central piece we have, but I'm going to use that one. And then I can maybe, I'll duplicate this one once more, put it in the bottom there, just so I have it. And then I'm going to just warp this a little bit. Da-da-da-da. Da-da, da-da-da. Just creating a little bit of a plateau here. So what I'm imagining now is that we got this kind of landscape that has this turquoise grass looking thing. But then here there's this peak, and I want to put some kind of structure there. And I'm actually thinking that now that I'm seeing all this greenery, maybe this is some kind of farmland. And that probably means that now we're getting into the kind of world building aspect of like Black Horizon and things. It probably means that this, maybe it's a food production world. And it's one of the planets that produce a lot of the food that people eat, so they maybe export a lot of that kind of stuff. And that could be interesting. I'm currently rewatching The Expanse. Has anyone watched The Expanse? I quite like The Expanse. You can watch it on Prime. It used to be a sci-fi show, like a SYFI. Not. It's also a science fiction show, but it was the Sci-Fi Channel who made it originally. So because I decimated this thing, it's a lot more performant and it's a lot easier. And I'm doing all this with the mouse, by the way. I'm just like putting together these things here, creating this landscape here. Oh. Maybe doing like this here. I'm just finding little ridges and stuff that I can just pull together. And I have no idea yet where I'm filming this thing from. You know, I'm just kind of covering my ass, if that makes sense. I'm just, you know, making sure that it looks good from many angles. Because then when I go into film, then it will work, you know. Oh, it will work. I got these kinds of things. And I'm thinking of putting something here, and then maybe here we got like kind of farmland around. So that would be quite interesting to try to figure out. Will I export it to Unreal Engine? No, I will not. This will purely be visual. Okay, cool. Another thing is working in correct scale, which I think I am definitely not, but we can cheat the scale. And it's actually important that I like having the measurements just so I know, you know, relative to a person, what is it I'm working with. And right now I'm kind of thinking, okay, maybe this is like a kilometer across or something. It's not a huge mountain. It's not like several kilometers tall, but maybe this is a kilometer across. And right now Blender's telling me that it is 11 meters across. So that's definitely not what I want, but we can go into the scene, we can set units, and then we could just start going up here. And then now it's a kilometer across because we set the unit scale a bit higher. Currently, the time is 9 o'clock, so I think we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Time for you guys to hit the bathroom or grab a snack. I'll just take a little break, then I'll come back, and then we'll start thinking a little bit about what's actually in this environment. So that's gonna be really, really interesting. We're gonna look at some mega structures and things like that. But let's take a quick break and then see you guys in 5 minutes. Hello, and we're back. And the music is kicking in again. Wish I had some more awesome music. Should we just spend 2 minutes putting some more music onto the thing? Maybe some... No, we need to put ambient because electronic won't work. You know, I should have been doing fantasy instead of sci-fi, because I think kinda ambient fantasy music, like Japan music, can just be so much more cozy. Often when, you know, some friends and I, we get together and then we play this card game called Hero Realms. And Hero Realms is you know, like a fantasy card game, and then we put on like the Hearthstone soundtrack on, and it's so cozy. It's beyond cozy. Am I based in Denmark? No, can you tell from my accent I'm super Swedish? No, I'm based in Denmark, and I'm also Danish. I'm based in Copenhagen. So let's see here. Music, that's what we're doing. I'm using Artlist actually to get some music. Actually, this guy Zero is actually creating a bunch of things that seems... Oh, lo-fi, maybe that's what I should have been looking for. I mean, this one that's playing right now is quite relaxing. I quite like that. Red Morning. Okay, they're all ambient. We can grab these and just add them to the list. Like, I don't use any kind of local music ever. It's just for the stream, basically, that I have the stuff for to not have anything that's copyrighted. Okay, so where did we leave off? Have you recovered from insomnia? Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, I did recover from insomnia. Okay, this is actually a crazy story. So, very astute, Plexiglass. It's nice of you asking. Watching out for my health when I don't do it myself. But basically, I have insomnia sometimes. You know, every other year I might have a small period of insomnia. Once I had it years ago for like 3 weeks. And for me, as a person who's never gone to the hospital, by the way, never ever in my life have I been severely sick. I've been incredibly fortunate and lucky. I'm very appreciative. I did have this 3 week very, very intense insomnia. It felt like I didn't sleep for 3 weeks, which I almost didn't. And it drove me absolutely mad. I couldn't, my brain was dysfunctional and it was awful. Any case, so then I have this stuff. And back then I got prescribed benzo. So benzos are slang for basically sleep medication, and in Denmark the regulations on sleep medications are pretty rough, because they can definitely, you know, be addictive, you know. And I got prescribed benzo by a friend's dad or something, and I think I was at the point in insomnia where I had actually just convinced myself that I just needed a reset. Like, I just needed one night of sleep, like, and then I would be fine, because then I would have the mental energy to deal with my sleep. Because at that point it was definitely I've gotten back to the habits of like all these things, and I was doing exercise every day to physically exhaust myself, but mentally it was definitely mental. But it's true that like most insomnia cases are, getting a bad schedule, and then suddenly your circadian rhythms they mess up, and then it's not good. But for me at that point, it was mental anxiety. I was overthinking everything, like I will never sleep again. Like mentally it was not good. So I got benzos, and then I took half a pill because I was so afraid of taking the drugs, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to take drugs. I took half a pill, and I slept for maybe 4 hours, and it's not real sleep that you get with the sleeping pills. It's a bizarre sleep. But then I was fine. The day after I was fine. So it was almost a placebo effect from the thing, because I think I just convinced myself that was gonna work. And I'm not recommending this as medical advice. It was just a fluke incident. But that's what happened back then. Any case, then years later I had the thing again, and then I got prescribed benzo again, and there I had to take a couple of pills to go back. And then I was like, okay, fine. Then a couple of weeks ago, I suddenly got insomnia again, and that was because of rhythms and hangovers and traveling a lot and a lot of partying and all kinds of stuff. So my rhythm got completely shaken down. It wasn't a mental thing, it just got shaken down. I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to get the pills, because I'd also had insomnia where I'd gotten out of it without pills, but I was also sick, influenza, everything was just terrible. I was like, you know what, I just need to not be able to deal with being awake. So I talked to a friend who's a doctor, and I was like, hey, I'm right now having the flu, like severe flu, like massive headache. I think I had 40 degrees in fever. It was very intense. And I had insomnia. And typically you have to sleep to deal with sickness, but I'm a light sleeper, so it was not rolling for me. So I was like, hey, is there a possibility of me, how would I deal with sleeping aids and stuff like this? And he's like, well, you have to talk to your own doctor about that. I'm like, oh, but I need it now, and I don't feel like going outside. And he's like, sorry, but what's going on? I'm just like, sleep. And then he was like, well, there's also this thing called melatonin, right, which is a different drug. It's also in Denmark, you also have to have it prescribed. But it's much less bad than something like benzo. It can still be addictive because it affects your sleep rhythms and stuff, and it's more for people who have jet lag, and then to reset your circadian rhythm and things like this. In any case, in Germany, for example, I think you can buy melatonin just at over the counter, where in Denmark you can't. But he was like, I can prescribe melatonin to you, and then you can try that. That's the milder thing, and it's a natural part of your brain, so it shouldn't mess with you too much. So he was like, you can try that. I was like, okay, cool. And here's the thing with the story. He then wrote back, he's like, okay, I prescribed you melatonin. Also, I just noticed something on your journal. I was like, what's that? He was like, it says you've been on benzo for 3 years. I was like, what? Like, yeah. So basically, the last time I had benzo, like 3 years ago, the doctor, which was my own doctor, he hadn't set an end date for the benzo. Right, so he just said benzo prescribed, but there was no end date for the the treatment or whatever. So it's just been indefinite, and it said ongoing. So basically, in my journal, it says that I've been on benzo for 3 years, and he was like, yeah, that's not supposed to be there. Nobody's on benzo for 3 years, and you're certainly not on benzo for 3 years. I'm like, no, I took like 2 pills back in 2020. And he's like, yeah, so I removed this, because if you go to the hospital or emergency room or something like that, and it says you are on benzo and you've been so for 3 years, they might not give you certain stuff that could be critical for your health, because drugs, mixing and stuff like this. And he's like, that's not so good. I'm like, no, that sounds awful. That's kind of crazy, thinking about that. And it was a mistake. The doctor made a mistake, or somebody had to remove it or whatever, and it happens, right? But it's a pretty critical mistake. The doctor is retired now, so but still, I was like, Ooh, that's that was a doozy. So even though the insomnia was pretty bad, it did make me talk to my friend about stuff, and then he got access to my journal. And then basically it was like, he discovered for me that like I've been on benzo for 3 years, been on benzo, which I haven't, and that could have been a huge issue. So a really good thing came out of that episode of insomnia I had recently, and it kind of, I think it just like it removed all the anxiety from the insomnia, because now I had to the anxiety about like false information in my journal, and like so something really good came out of it for me, So yeah, that was a little bit of a detour, but now that's what happened. So I'm very thankful to my friend for discovering that, and thank him for helping me out. But yeah, that was radical. So doctor stuff. Okay, let's get back to the environment. Let's get away from the somberness of insomnia and these things. Where we're going. So we are at the idea now. We are at the idea now. We're going to be doing this kind of agriculture land. We're talking a bit about like making a kind of planet that maybe supplies a bunch of food. So we want to captivate that kind of thing. So we could go look at some reference and kind of say like, okay, what would that look like? I think I kind of have an idea in my head of what that would look like, but I do want to show a few things. Just if you search, or maybe just like mega structures or something like that, then we will get, there's stuff like this. You get this huge farmland and things like this. I think it's going to be a little bit more organic, what we're looking at. Also things like that, which are quite interesting, but that looks a little bit more labyrinthy. It's also kind of interesting. There's some things where you can find something, but actually, let's go to Pinterest and just look at farmland, or maybe rice fields. The song name, it's part of Artlist, and Artlist is I think you have to pay to listen to everything, but the song is called Sarah Air. There you go. That's it. Yeah, this kind of stuff is really interesting. It could be interesting to make fields like this. We could also use this as a texture. Oh, that's interesting. Let's use this as a texture. Let's go to... let's just save it here under textures. There we go. There's also this one, which is quite cool. Oh, this one is pretty good too. Save image. You get that one also. Then I also do this trick sometimes for creating little buildings and stuff that I want to show you. So if we search, no, actually, let's go satellite. So Google Maps. Maps of Google, and then we'll go satellite, and then we'll find some area somewhere, probably somewhere with very straight and kind of square streets, and that typically happens in America more than in Europe. And find an area kind of like these things here. So we just want to find an industrial area, something. Let's see if we can get something a little bit more interesting. Oh, there are airports. Airports are kind of interesting. Oh, what do we have here? see here. I'm just looking for detail. And then I'm gonna use that as a texture. And you could also find this online, and you could find a lot better textures online, but I just want to show the principle by going really... There's so many cars there. Well, I did go to the States. Oh, actually, I'm in Canada now, right? But I went to America. There's more cars in America. Oh, there's trees. Oh, look at these patterns in the grass. There's a golf course. Let's see here. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I like that. That has some cool colors. Things like that. Okay, just gonna line this up here. And then just gonna look at this from the top here, like that. You see there's actually a 3D effect on the buildings already here. That's cool. Like that. And then I think you can turn off... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I think you can go... You can have like a view where you say... I want to see nothing. No, that's not what I want to do. There's like a mode where you can just say more labels. I can also turn off globe. Yeah, actually, there. Globe view. There we go. There we go. And then I'm just gonna screen capture this thing right there. I'm gonna go to images. Oh, that's the thumbnail. I look kind of sad in that thumbnail. Why did I do that to myself? That's so stupid. Image, camera size. 1920. What, did I hit 1920 with that screen grab by rat? I did with the when I just screen grabbed. I hit 1920 exactly. Oh, I feel so cool. That's like the biggest achievement in my life. Let's see here. If I don't have the AI fill thing, but I do have content aware. Could try that. Oh, that looks terrible. We're gonna do it in a different way. We're just gonna copy this here. Put that there. Put that here. I'm just, making a quick texture. That's kind of the point of this exercise. There we go. And try that. Can I get rid of these cars? Yeah, that's fine, actually. Yeah, cool. Then I have a texture. Get rid of these things here. And the cool thing is I have a completely fresh, unique texture that nobody else has. And that's what I really want. Save as. We can put in the stream. Save copy. Oh, stupid Photoshop, but then you save whatever thing. And we call this textures. We call this building text 1. Cool. And we jump back to the thing here. So now what I want to do is I want to make a couple of structures. So we're going to start off by just getting a cube here. And then I'm going to just do like this. Just duplicating, meshing things together. And just see what kind of thing here. Maybe even something like this. like that. And cool. And then what I want to do is create a new material for this guy. We're gonna call it the building mat. I'm gonna grab that texture. Yep, let's find it. Horizon textures. There we go. That's the building texture. Gonna place that. You see it looks absolutely horrible. Q project. Then we get this, and we're having something that's starting to look a little bit interesting. Then we can put this to like a hue saturation. We could change the hue if we wanted to. We could desaturate it a little bit, and we could increase or decrease the. Ooh, yeah, kind of think it's a little bit interesting. Then we're gonna get a ramp node. We're gonna use that for the roughness, and then we're gonna just see what that looks like. We have a pretty rough surface. Do we really want? Maybe we're gonna get something like this actually. Then we get these kind of interesting areas that are a little bit more. Like that. Yeah, that's cool that we got a little bit of shine here and there. Then we are gonna get a bump. Oh, and actually we were gonna get a displacement. So I found that the displacement node, it's a little bit faster than the bump, even though they kinda do the same thing. Height. There we go, height. And then we just set this to 0.01. Oof, this really doesn't like. Okay, there we go. Maybe it should be flipped. Yeah, that feels. Just giving us a little bit of detail there. Okay, then we have that. Then we can press U for the UV editor. And then here now, we could take this guy. Maybe we'll reproject that one. Could I maybe get it over here instead? You. And please feel free to ask questions. You know, please ask questions during this process. I'm just kind of going, but I'm assuming that most of you just kind of looking and be like, oh, what the hell is going on now? Let's see here. So now I'm just using, you know, the stuff to match up things to make it look kind of good over here. And I kind of like this black thing happening there. Maybe I can do something similar there. But then this one needs something a little bit more special. You would be amazed at what you can get out of just like lining things up. It'll suddenly start feeling like there's a reason behind the stuff. We got that kind of a thing there. This one is still not exactly what I want. Maybe I'll just unwrap this one by itself. 45. 90. Oh. And then 90 maybe. And I can get a more straight plane like this. Yeah. Is that really what I want? Maybe we'll try Oh, I like that a little bit more. Yeah, that feels good. So that one's there. Let's get something similar going on here. Yeah, then we have a kind of building thing. That's awesome. We can create another one. We'll just take these pieces here, duplicate them around, grab this one, shrink it, grab this one, maybe delete this one, create some kind of, oh, not like that, kind of thingamajig, and then just cube project. Actually, just take these ones, cube project. See here, and what could be nice is just grabbing everything, sliding around, see if there's something that catches your eye somewhere, then maybe that just kind of works. Really, now we got these like completely unique buildings, sci-fi buildings. Super simple, it just kind of works, especially from a distance. Awesome. Okay, so that's those bits, and then the idea is that I kind of want to have some big farmland around. I want to have some kind of central thing, so we're going to create a cube here, and I'm going to bring that up, bring it in, bring that in like this. Like so, and then this is gonna get its own material, and this is gonna be these textures that we had here. It's gonna look like that. Cube project. It's gonna look like that basically. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks amazing. And let me take the hue saturation thing here, like this. And we match it to what we got going on down there. Yeah, I kind of like the extra little bit of green there. Did I miss a bunch of stuff in the chat? I waited for a video like this from a long time. Thought there's no way. Add AO with mix shader. We already got that. Oh, you're thinking on the buildings, maybe. And we got 500 check something from Healy. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Donation. If you have a question associated with your donation, then I will definitely answer it. How's it going? It's going great. Answered. I feel like I'm an official streamer now. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It's very kind. Gabriel M3, would you be able to do the texture the same way for like a medieval fantasy building? I think so. I think with a medieval fantasy building, you kind of want you want to make more assets and then put those things together. I think this kind of works for like a big building like this, but I think if you put a little bit more effort into like really putting the texture where you need to do, I think you could do it for medieval buildings definitely also. Lucius, hey, I'm going on an art event next week. Any general tips or advice for a first timer? Thanks a lot. What art event are you attending? Then I can give you specific tips. on, because I just went to an art event actually like 3 weeks ago. Or a conference. But let me know what art event you are thinking about, or you're going to, then I'll let you know. Oh, look at this. This looks baller. This is very good. And then associated with a little farm. This is so good. Okay, so what I want now is that I want to create a little railing. Maybe I can use this to create a little bit of a weird tower thing at the edge of the thing. Then I use this one to create a little edge here. Like that. Maybe a little thing here. Oh, you're going to Kind of Art? Nice. I actually know lots of people who are going to Kind of Art. My roommate is going to Kind of Art. It's hosted by Mood, where my roommate used to work, and he's actually considering maybe wait. But my roommate is going there to Kind of Art, and I actually have a friend staying at my place on Friday. He's coming to, a guy called Jeppe is coming to stay at Kind of Art. He's coming to stay at my place so he can go to Kind of Art. So yeah, you'll meet lots of people there. You'll meet who is going? Esben Lars Rasmussen is going, who is a friend. Simon Tosowski, who I went to school with, is going. My roommate Ole Wittenmark is going. Jeppe is going. A bunch of people from Mood, obviously, they're all going. Is Mads Amp going maybe? And Rasmus Paulsen is going, the art director from IO, which I had a great pool session with once. That was pretty good. You were asking for tips, sorry. Tips. Lots of people are going. Oh, it's Kind of Art is going to be big. I was considering going, but yeah, no. I can stand outside, then we can meet. Tips. So what kind of tips are you looking for? Like just how to mingle, or what to do at the event, or are you looking to connect, or what's your goal with going to the thing? Maybe you're just going for the talks, or what are you looking to do? So then we get these like little ventilators here. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. Kind of digging this music a lot right now. It feels appropriate. Oh, and right, Miguel Iglesias coming, yeah, right, he's no one else. I was hoping to make some connections while I was there. So you personally know Miguel Iglesias, or you just know him from YouTube? Like, are you guys buddy friends? Yeah. That would be great to meet. I went to an art event called Cave 3 weeks ago. And it was actually my first time going to an event like that, and I think it's just because Corona was a thing for such a long time, so everything was just kind of closed. And I met so many people who had watched Critical Giants and had like used it for work and stuff like this. Like somebody was like, yeah, I work Oh, you play Dark Tide. Okay, that's pretty dope. Okay, very unpopular opinion. I think Miguel Iglesias' work is absolutely awesome. He's super cool. But I tried Vermintide, but I had already played Deep Rock Galactic before then, and Deep Rock Galactic, I'm sorry to say, is the superior game over both Vermintide and Dark Tide. But I understand that there's some hardcore Warhammer and especially Warhammer 40,000 fans out there who are like, I don't care, it's Warhammer, so it's gonna beat everything. But Deep Rock is the better game. It's a different game, you know. Vermintide and Dark Tide is a little bit more like Left 4 Dead. Deep Rock is just, you know, way more awesome. I'm trying to start a debate here. No, I do want to give you tips. Okay, so you're looking to connect with people. I think it can be hard when you're new, but let's say it like this: everyone likes themselves. So if you know anybody works, then you should play Deep Rock. Deep Rock is awesome. If you know anyone there who you think are cool or anything like that, then just let them know that you really like this and this and this, and maybe be specific and not just say like, oh, I really like your work. But if you know something specific about the work that you really, really like, then hone in on that immediately, because it'll create a lot more interesting conversation immediately. I think somebody, you know, I met this guy called Martin Hermans. Super nice guy. He's a vehicle designer at Character Studio. He and I think just, you know, as fast as possible, I was like, okay, this guy obviously has a great understanding of vehicle design. I could go up and just say like, hey, I really like your work, which obviously he would appreciate, and that's never a bad thing to do. But as fast as possible, I wanted to try to start talking about, like, you know, manufacturing methods for different kinds of applications, and just like really go deep as fast as possible to make the conversation interesting. And he had done this really cool collapsible mech that he showed during his talk, and I just immediately wanted to talk about other collapsible things and hear where he was going with that. So I think, you know, a good thing is to try to be specific, and you know, it's always nice to saying, hey, really like your work, and that can also be nice. A different thing is also like when you're there and you want to mingle and you want to have an opportunity to talk to someone that maybe you admire or you don't know, you can also crowd people very easily, you know, and people also need their space. So just don't just crowd someone, but never be afraid to go up to someone and just say like, hey, I really like your work. It really inspires me, or something like that. But then once you're there, if you feel like there's an opportunity to talk more, then go really specific and just go into specific. This is more like an artist to artist thing. If you're looking for job opportunities, then you know, figure out a way to talk about your work. Maybe let them know that, like, yeah, you know, there's a very big difference between saying, yeah, I would like to apply actually, versus saying like, yeah, I'm currently on the market looking for a position, and then good, you know, then you sound like you have options. And then different thing between like, yeah, I really want to be here, please adopt me, you know. Maybe some people will respond to that, but I think, you know, you're kind of playing it's a game, it's a mental game where you want to seem available, but you also don't want to seem desperate. So you know, figure out who's going, you know, look at the talks, and then don't be like, there's probably a lot of big names. I think also maybe, I think Jama's also going to kind of art, like lots of people there, but talk to the people who maybe not that many people know, because you'll be surprised. Like, people do some really weird stuff, and if you're there, you should talk to Ole Wedenmark, who's my roommate. You should definitely talk to Ole Wedenmark. He's a super Super cool guy. Super cool guy. He's doing a lot of character art. I've actually been talking about Miguel Iglesias a couple of times, just related to like character design and character art. I think actually Ulle would like to meet Miguel Iglesias. That would make a lot of sense. So that's awesome. I hope those. I don't know. Maybe these are terrible tips, but those are my tips for you. I hope you're not just like ready to puke at my pathetic tips. Okay, something like that. Let's start placing this stuff. Oh my god, time is just flying. Let's combine this stuff there. And combine. Maybe kind of get these like 45-degree angles. That feels somewhat approachable. Okay, you know what? I need to make this a little bit easier for myself. I'm gonna do that. And then these guys are gonna get Q project. And these guys here. I'm gonna do this. Individual. Q project. But there's also a lot of people from Mood going, obviously because they're hosting the event, and there's a lot of super nice people there also. And Espen is going. Maybe Mess is going. Is Mess Am going? Maybe yes. You won't tell them. No, you can tell them. I'm not afraid of having my opinion be out there. I mean, Darktide did have a very rough launch, as far as I remember. You know, it was like quite buggy, and if I hadn't played Deep Rock, then I would probably have really enjoyed both Darktide and Vermintide. But I had played Deep Rock, and it changed my outlook on co-op experiences. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm creating like a base for everything, so that once I intersect them with the ground, it'll just behave a lot nicer, so I don't have to do as much cleanup work. Like this, like there, 45. Like this here. Like this, like that. So I'm just trying to layer these kind of farms around. Maybe also like here. And then I might adjust the terrain afterwards to match these farms, so it feels like they've kind of really cut into the environment. And these are all currently the same size, so I might take a few of these and just change this stuff here. And then flip it upside down, why not? Then you get something different. Then just change this here. Maybe also do it like this. You cube project like that. Maybe even taking something like this and doing that to it. Cube project like that. Cool. Then you see I'm going relatively fast right now. But that's awesome, Lucius, that you're going to... Also, when it's your first event, it's always special. And maybe it's going to be a really good event. Like, it's the first time they're doing it too, kind of hard. But it looks like it's going to be really big. And where are you based, actually? Are you based in Denmark, or are you traveling in to get to the event, or how does it work? And are you, or maybe you, if you're friends with Miguel, then maybe you're based in the same place. And are you traveling together then? Oh, that'd be fun. Also, super appreciate watching the stream. You know, that's it's great to have people here. Yeah, we're starting to get something a little bit kind of interesting. Then we just want to bring in this kind of stuff here. And we can place this a few places here. Get some variation. Like this kind of stuff right there. We're gonna be going over time. I can feel for sure we're not at all at the finish line yet. Faces. 2, we can have this one. Maybe do like an array. No, not array, mirror. Mirror, mirror, like that. Then we can do something like this. Then we get that kind of structure. You see, once you have one thing, then everything will just blend together. You have this central kind of hub. You cube project like that. Cube project, maybe scale this a little bit here. Like that, yeah. Cube project. And sure, we've got stuff intersecting here, but you know, that'll be fine. It's a little bit too weirdly evil. Maybe if I flip these. Yeah. It's a little bit nicer. It's still central, but maybe I liked it more before. Yeah, you know what? That kind of works. Okay, let's make this go down there, so we can have the farms. There we go. Then here we're gonna have this cutting into the ground like this. There we go. And these little like saturated greens, they add a very nice variation to this entire setup. I mean, obviously, like for something like this, I would spend a lot longer, but we're doing it pretty fast. You know, we're just doing it in 2 hours. So I am cutting some corners here and there. I would probably put in a little bit more detail, but I did want to create something that was worth something for this stream. So hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. Okay, nice. Now I want to show you what I'm doing with the cameras. This is the big thing that is that a wait? Is that a playlist you put on? If so, what's its name? This is all from Artlist. Here, this is. I don't know how to. These are the songs in the playlist. So just memorize them. Then. No, I canceled the music. I'm an idiot. We were just having a great time. No, the playlist is gone. I got distracted. But I have all the songs here. And wait, I had some extra ones that I added. There. Don't know what this is, but we'll does anyone remember which song was playing? We'll just go again. Okay, we're listening to this one. Thanks, man. This is the playlist. I'm from Ireland. I'm traveling in Copenhagen. Been to a Nordic. Should be an adventure. I heard the Dutch like beer. I mean, probably the Dutch like beer, but there's no Dutch people here. That rhymes. There's no Dutch people here. Maybe there's some Dutch people going to the event. But I mean, the Danes definitely like beer. It's a beer country, and if you're from Ireland, then it's that's a beer country. Actually, I learned something, a similarity between the Dutch and the Danes beyond having languages that sound like you have a potato in your mouth. So in Denmark, the drinking age is 16 for beer and 18 for hard liquor, which means when I went to high school, or in Denmark it's called gymnasium, then the schools had parties where they would serve beer, right? So you actually at the school serving beer, and there's also teachers also maybe having a beer or something, and that was cool, you know, and just like that was the party basically. And there's also, you know, home parties and things like that, but a big thing was also having a party at the high school, at the gymnasium or whatever, with beer and alcohol. That's not normal. I learned very late in life when talking to people from Sweden or other countries, and they're like, yeah, no, that's weird. Drinking in school, that doesn't add up. And I'm like, what? And I was like, oh my god, I'm the weird one. We're the weird ones here in Denmark, where we have that drinking age thing. But then apparently in the Netherlands, because I have a Dutch friend, in the Netherlands they have the same thing. So the Dutch and the Danes, they're like, yeah, drinking. So hopefully, you know, that'll be good. Hopefully that'll be good. Just mixing these up here. A little bit of irregularity, that's fine. That's good there. People smoked in my school, but I never seen people drinking. That's pretty unique. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's not... And it was totally... It's totally fine, you know? That's just how it works. Countries are just weird. Oh, and then there's a slot here, and I really feel like filling it out with something. I quite like this kind of farm thing that's going on here. And it's awesome when you just have a few pieces, then suddenly complexity rises. And then we just got this amazing thing going on. Get one of these guys and just use them to fill out this little area here. Oh, What if it does intersect with the thing? Maybe that's okay. I do kind of like it. Just in that one place there. And then if we build a little bit of a wall around it, then it'll have some kind of reasoning. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that. Like that, like that, like that. Da, 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 da. Maybe something here. Explore Sweden. I could watch all night. I like that it's called Explore Sweden. Why are you called Explore Sweden? This was only supposed to be like a 2-hour thing, but I'm really feeling the vibes right now. It's just like doing this thing. Oh yeah. Okay. I think the environment needs a little bit more stuff in the distance. So we need to kind of do that. Oh, the scale of the textures is messing with me a little bit. Art piece. So is this a concept for a final art piece? This is just some environmental exploration, and then I'll do a camera. I was actually thinking about doing the camera now. I'm just putting out a little bit more environment, just so that when we get to the camera, then everything will line up a little bit more naturally to begin with. Let's see here. Get that, get that, get that. Okay, camera thing. My English. I could always keep the stream going for 5+ hours. Yeah, I could. You know, we'll do that one day. I promise you, we'll do like an all-day stream, and then I'll set it up and be like, hey, we're gonna do something like this, or make an environment or something, and we'll just do it for the entire day. So like an 8-hour stream, and then that'll be super fun. It's not gonna be tonight, but I would love to do that at some point. Either way, English. So I think my English is attributed to the fact that I'm just awesome at English. No, I think I was always decent at English, also in school, but I think it increased in quality a lot when, you know, in general, if you live in the Nordic countries, then the level of English is quite high. The same thing in the Netherlands, like as a non-native speaker. But basically around 8th grade, so when I was 14, 15 something, my family moved to Italy, and there I went to an American school for a 1.5 years, and I think then basically I had to talk English every day, and so my English took a big, it increased a lot in quality there, and you know, I think I became more or less fluent there, and you know, I had to converse with people like that. So when I came back to Denmark around at the end of 9th grade, so going to high school, then I was fluent, and then 3 years in high school, you know, I kind of just cruised on the English there, and I guess I didn't use English as much as just, you know, using it online for games, watching films and things like that. But I think at that point I had kind of moved away from, maybe it was the thing that starting in high school, then I stopped using subtitles for film, because after I've been to Italy, then I was fluent, so then I just stopped using subtitles for any kind of film. It was just like, oh, right, I just watch. And I watched a lot of, you know, English TV. I watched a lot of Discovery Channel that was just always in English. And I think I learned a lot from that. And then after high school, I went to a classical drawing school, and that was all in English. And it was in Denmark, but it was all in English. And then when I went to university, also in Denmark, that was also all in English. And most of my friends speak English, and the crowd we just speak English because we have multinational people. My roommate is Swedish. We speak English. We could probably speak Danish and Swedish, which we should do to uphold those kinds of things, but we don't. And yeah, I even speak English with some people who are Danish. So Misa back. I guess it's like, you know, I did have a thing where people in high school, they'd be like, "You're Italian." Not that that's an offense, but it was an offense to me because I wasn't Italian. So they're just like, bleh. So it just, if I had any argument that was valid, then they'd be like, "Yeah, but you're Italian." So I'm like, I'm not Italian. I mean, I could pass for Italian, but I'm not. What we're doing this. So, camera. I want to show you what I do. I grab the camera, I go to the render settings, no, sorry, the for output settings, I set it to 2100 by 900, then we get CinemaScope, then we go into the camera, then we go here, we go to viewport display, and we set it to pass by 2 to full. Probably actually 0.98. There we got that. Then we got camera to view. Then I go here. Oh, then I go here. Then I go like this. Then I grab the timeline, which is really important. Then now I started looking for angles, but I put on the little animation thing. So like maybe there's an angle here. Then I go to a different frame. Then I look for a different angle. Look for something like that. Like that. And then now I can step between them like this. Then I look for something else, and also I go over to the focal length. I set a thing on that one. I set a timer here, there, and then I could maybe decrease it, set it to like a 25 mil. Get a very warped perspective on this thing. Get a really cool. Oh, actually, that's kind of interesting. Like back shot, seeing over the things like this. Then we need way more farms out here. There's probably an add-on called something. I think this works great. Maybe this one could be like an 80mm, and then yeah, I like that. And then just make sure to switch over to your things here. Turn off these guys. I mean, I do have, if anyone's Danish out there, then they can probably, or Swedish or anything like that, then maybe you'll be able to hear a little bit of Danish in my accent still. And then here now, you know, I take the sun and I move it. And we kind of got this like double sun thing going on, which that's not great, and that's because of the cloud layers thing. Let's see here what we got here. let's see if we can do something about that. So let's go here, S, world. Maybe we'll just use sky. I did really like it. Maybe use a sky texture. Then we get something a little bit more neutral. Yeah, this is probably pretty good for just having something. And then putting it way down. Or timeline. These shadow shapes are kind of interesting. Like that. Kind of stuff here. Not a chance that you sound Danish. Well, to be fair, your accent isn't showing that much compared to people like Lars. No. If you wanted to talk, real Danish, then you just put in some words, and you talk to people and you ask them, how are you doing today? And then it all just flows right into place. People from Denmark, they like to talk, with a lot of uncertainty, so they're kind of dancing around the words, and when they don't really have the word for it, then they just say flæskesvær, and then it all comes back to it. So you can do that, basically. Accents are great. I think accents are some of the most funny thing in the entire world. I love doing accents, I think, and voices in general. I just think it's such an amazingly funny thing. This was the shot. Let's see here. What kind of lights are we hitting here? Yeah, that's what we're doing, where we get that light from there. From there. Ooh, the long shadows like that. I kind of like that, but we need some stuff out there then. So it's kind of this thing where you build a little bit of stuff, then you start photographing it, and then you can adjust to the shots. The thing with shots is that, like, when you're making thumbnails, then you can figure out the composition really, really fast, and you can just go. The thing with the environments is that you figure out a really cool spatial thing, but if you are aiming to do shots, then you kind of want to jump back and forth between the things a lot. This shot doesn't work. This shot is not really what you would want. Maybe something a little bit more like this. You're not really seeing the farm. This is all about the farms. So that's what we want to... Ooh. See, this also shows a thing that we didn't really account for yet. And that is the fact that these fields have no roughness. Give them a little bit of roughness here. So now we got some stuff going on. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Look at these guys. This is great. This is great. We can also give them a little bit of pump. Oh. Displacement. Okay. We are we're moving towards where I really want to end. I want to keep going so bad, but I feel look at that. Then we get all this stuff for free. Oh my god, I love sometimes, sometimes it's just amazing. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. Oh. Okay, I'm just getting really excited. I'm using cycles, yes. I'm using cycles, but this just looks so good. Yeah. This shot is awful. This shot though, this shot could be really good. And this shot is great. And I like this shot also. This shot. I don't like this shot. This shot, okay. So I need to get this shot working here. So I'm gonna put this on the other screen, so you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna be moving stuff. I could put like a little micro window in the up here or something, just so you guys can see. I never do this, but it's just so you can follow along in the composition. Da, 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 da. There we go. And then I don't know why it's not showing up yet. Come on, there we go. Okay. So I just need something that's a little bit more. That, and then out here we just need a little bit of mountain stuff. Great angle. Yeah, no, this is great. I know I made it, but still, I'm just like, yeah. I think that's. For me, that's really what it's become, you know, when making art and things. I need to get to that point where I no longer care that I'm making the thing. I'm just excited about what it looks like. And it feels more like I'm kind of out in nature and just appreciating what's happening. And maybe that sounds a little bit arrogant, but it's such a nice feeling when I'm like, oh, just all pride is gone. Like, oh, I'm really great. Look at the thing I'm making. I'm so awesome. It's just more than like, oh, this looks great, and I hope that I get to show this to other people, because I found this thing. It feels more like I found something and I want to show it to people, so I'm trying to slowly carve away at it so that other people can see what I saw too, or what I found, you know. That's more the feeling now. Genuinely, like really, like that's really how it feels now. Oh, can I do more of these guys? I really want to. Then you know, if you look at Earth, then so much of it is farmland. Like what we have in the world, it's just all of it is farmland. It's kind of crazy. When also in Denmark, we just have immense amounts of farmland. It's just the entire country. Denmark has good soil for farmland. Terrible for building and terrible for if you want iron or something like that, you can forget about it because you're not going to find any. But farmland is very good. Okay, so this currently looks like this here. Just gonna see it in the big picture. I'm gonna do just one shot right now, and it's gonna be this one from the back, and then I'm gonna bring it into Photoshop, and then I want to show you kind of. Okay, so I want to adjust the lighting here a little bit. I do like the shot. I just gotta maybe need more energy. Then maybe Okay, cool. So I'm also gonna do this thing where I take all of this stuff here, all these things here, all of this, and put it into a collection called farm. And then we're gonna instance that thing. Instance the scene. Now I have this other one here. Then I can bring it somewhere else. Like this. And I can just place it somewhere else in the shot. I'm just looking for a place to place it. Maybe actually right across from this thing is a good place to place it. No, that's not a great place to place it. Over there, maybe. Yeah, you can see it a little bit right there. Because then I can have this thing that I can just kind of place in the distance. Then we'll have way more farms than what we have had before. Maybe this thing should not be inside the thing. Yeah, that is kind of cool. Let's see some of the different shots here. Oh, that's not good. What happened? Ah, of course. It was this thing that was on. So that thing was there. Wait, what? Oh, okay, I'm confusing myself here. Okay, that one's correct. And that one is the one that's being bizarre. Putting that over there. I do wish I could do something about this big plains right here, but let's just hope that, yeah, so it looks. Okay, so I want to take this shot here, this shot right here, and I want to do something to it. So I'm gonna take it into Photoshop, and then I want to take this shot, put it into Photoshop, and just show you kind of what it is that I usually do. And there's a lot of stuff I would fix if I had more time, but right now I don't have the time. I really like this. I'm gonna take this further at some point, and I want all of this to be farmland basically. Oh, I wonder, is there a way we can cheat it? I just think it would look so good. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna cheat it. How do I take all this here and just like that? I'm gonna create a little mosaic of things. I'm gonna grab this here, put it in the collection. There. Then I'm gonna rotate it by 45. Like that. I'm gonna get this here, like that. Like that. Like that. Then I'm gonna do like this here. I'm gonna get that. Oh, that's not exactly what I want here. Delete those. more flat here. That seems good. Then let's try and array these things with an offset. Like this. Maybe I can put them like here. And then maybe I can duplicate this. This. Nah, this doesn't look good. It doesn't have the hand-placed beauty of the other ones. I could extend it a little bit. I missed all these out here. Well, maybe we can do it in 2D. Okay, cool. So this is what I got here. Then a different thing we need here now is the mist. I'm gonna turn this one off. I'm gonna go over here. We need a mist. So I'm gonna go to world. No, I'm gonna go to passes. We're gonna turn on the mist pass. We're gonna turn on direct diffuse. We're gonna turn on object and material. Normal. Those things. Look through the thing. We look at our mist pass there. That looks pretty good. Let's get the camera here. Get the world mist pass. Let's see here. Okay, it's actually set quite high already. If I set it to 0, then what do we get? Let's set it to 100. 200. 200. 5,000. Yeah, we get all these layers. That feels pretty good. That's our mist pass setup. Then we're gonna go to compositing. I'm gonna go to compositing, I'm gonna say use nodes. Then here comes the big trick. This is important. So, cryptomats. If you know them, you know them. If you don't know them, you know them. You don't know them, whatever. Cryptomats essentially look like this. These are cryptomats, right? That's kind of what they look in Blender, but this one is wrong. And because it's wrong, lots of people opt to use this trick instead, where you have the random colors, but then you go flatten and you can basically use this thing. But it'd be nice to be able to have it from the compositing, because then you could export them out if you have multiple shots, yada yada yada. And I only found out until recently that cryptomats in Blender are 32-bit. And of course they're 32-bit, that makes perfect sense. But they're 32-bit, so that means when you export them directly from Blender, you get them clamped. So a lot of the values will just become white, even though they're supposed to have detail in them. So to use cryptomats properly in Blender, you have to do a little trick. Okay, so I'm gonna set up this file output node, and I'm doing this so that I can get out all the passes from my thing here. So I'm gonna get one for mist, get one for normal, get one for diff dir, get one for crypto obj, and input crypto mat like this. Gonna put the image in here, we're gonna put the mist in here, and I think I have film on also. Film transparent I have on, so I will have a transparent background. Okay, normal, diff direct. Okay, for the crypto mats, you have to get crypto mat, this one. Then we'll select the one, and we're gonna select object, then we're gonna get pick, and now, here comes the big thing. We're gonna have to separate color. I'm gonna have to normalize each of these values. These values are currently in 32-bit, and that's not what we want. We want them to be normalized. Bada bing, bada boom, and then we're gonna combine them. Whoop. Combine color, and maybe you have no clue what's going on right now, but I can promise you, oh my god, this is so important. And there, that is now the one. Can I control G this? Yep, there we go. I'm gonna call this one normalize 32-bit. Oh, getting another one. Gotta get the material, pick into this one, there into that one. I'm gonna select the folder, Horizon, new folder, it's gonna be called Farmland. There we go. Buka. There we go. Save. Save. So, we set our samples, that's all good. This one has been set to RGB. I want that for the image, but I don't want that for anything else. So we're gonna set everything to RGB, but then for the image here, we're gonna say use node format, and instead we're gonna set it to that thing. So we're gonna get that, that's gonna be good. And we're gonna hit F12 to render this monstrosity. Actually, we're getting a pretty low resolution. You know what? It's just for demo purposes. I think it's fine. So it's going to render it now with the correct cryptomats, and the cryptomats are going to look very different from this. And that's the big hoopla. Yeah, I would play way more with this shot. This shot is not really there yet, but I can see it becoming pretty nice. But what I really want is like, so you can see all these like farmland details here. Okay, we got our shot. Now we can see our different things here. I want to show you what the cryptomat just looks like on its own. It looks like this, and you can see it's like, oh, but that looks like it's not too bad. But then you get these white things here, just white, and so this building and that thing just mixes together. Well, what about here? Well, once again, you just get these like white things, and here it's not too bad because they're probably the right whatever. Now I see when it's normalized, everything is now its own color. You no longer got these like white splotches. White, different. White, different. White. See, that thing and that thing, they're the same color, but now they're two different colors. Magic. So yeah, got the same thing there. Ta-da! Normalized cryptomats. You know, it's just, it's magic. Okay, cool. Should this all be rendered out already? Let's take a look. Horizon, what do we call it? Farmland? Farmland. And we got all the passes already rendered out because I pressed F12 and I set this up. Awesome. We go into Photoshop. I'm gonna do the fastest thing in the world here. My mist pass though looks almost unusable. We'll make do. We got this one going on here. We got that background there. We want to use this, create a new thing, create a thing here with that thing there. We're gonna use that to put that here. Nice. Then I'm gonna bring in all the passes in the top here. I'm not gonna go through exactly how to do all this stuff here. I'm just showing you my technique. The Cryptomat, you just use it for picking. So if you need to modify a specific area of the image, you use the Cryptomat for picking part of the image. Okay, a good place to start here would be to, I'm gonna grab my tablet now. Now I'm actually using my tablet. I've been using the mouse this entire time. Let's see here. We kind of just want this thing here. I could get an image for clouds and the sky and all kinds of things, but you know what? No way, Jose. Gonna get this thing here. So what I like to do is that I like to just put in whatever I'm missing in the image. So if you're missing land or if you're missing skies or whatever, put that stuff in before you do any kind of processing. You know, to some extent. You know, if you're missing something major like a building or ground, like I'm missing right now, I'm missing all this kind of stuff. Atmosphere is the kind of thing you can put on top in the end if you know what you're doing. And then you're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, you know, with practice comes great responsibility or something. Like this, like there. Cool. Oh, there we go. Then we have our mist pass here. We want our mist pass to become a mask for something here. And actually I'm going to use this one. Then here we have the mist pass. Like that. Maybe we can even put it over everything. Yeah. Then what we want is actually a little bit of decrease the mask, and for the mask to creep in a little bit more. There we go. And just for everything to get a little bit of a haze here. And then here, we're just gonna slowly kind of like do this. Just adjusting the haze a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then, let's see here. We got this image. Grab this image here. Put that in there. This will be our light. Down quite a lot here, like this. Now we basically have a light pass. And then here I can use this too. I'm gonna set this to screen. I can use this to kind of light up some things if I needed to. Probably get a little bit more. then I can start painting in some of these things here. Just lighten up some things. Like that. Maybe some things that are a little more. Like that, creating those kinds of things. Then I could get this here. Then I can invert it. Then I get a shadow pass. Then I can use that to lighten up the shadows or darken them or something. Use them to darken the shadows there a little bit. Cool. Just see here what we get. This is really interesting, because then I can use this to kind of color pick, and then you can say contiguous 5. Then you just get all that stuff there. Then I can use that to start just painting in some things. I could, you know, like create kind of ridges like this. If I want to start pretending like there's more farmland. Like this. You know, this music kind of reminds me of the track from Gladiator. Like with her singing like this, it kind of has a very similar vibe. And then, you know, we're just getting all those little feelings. I mean, I would probably do this in 3D, but this definitely also works. And then we can create a little bit of swirls here. Simple. And it's going to create that kind of illusion that there's more stuff going on out there. And to be honest, like this shot is probably a little bit better if it was like cropped a little bit and more like concentrated like this. It's probably a little bit nicer. Yeah, like that. This could be a different. Then I kind of wish that the farms were a little bit more radiant. So if I just grab these ones, it's kind of nice in the crypt mats. Then I can go in here, create a layer, and just say, you know what, I want overlay, and I want this to happen. And you know, I could do something like this, then suddenly I have a completely different look. I do like them blending in a little bit, but I want them to be a little bit more punchy. You know, punch it a little more. Maybe even more. Oh yeah. And then I want them to punch out here also. So maybe I can. Maybe I can go here. Oh, there we go. And then create some kind of also overlay. listening to like music played on the theremin today. That was pretty interesting. Like I've heard of theremin before, but I just found someone who played really cool theremin music. No, I don't want to spend too much time with this because ideally I would do it a little bit more neatly, but it's just to demonstrate the point for you guys watching, so you can kind of see it in a... Yeah, you see what I mean? Like then we get this really nice saturation contrast between this kind of stuff, and I think the buildings could probably also pop a little bit more. So maybe we go back to this one, and then we could just select, you know, the buildings. Bada bing, we got all the buildings. We could do exactly the same trick. So that's the really power thing with the cryptomats. And now that we got good cryptomats, that kind of allow us to do, ooh yeah, they just punch a little bit more there. Like that. It's not really supposed to be toxic. I realize that it does feel a little bit toxic because of the green. Oh, I do like that though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this down a notch here. Not toxic, but alien, you know, like different. It's supposed to feel different for sure. Oh, I kind of want to see if I can get... The normal pass can also be interesting because then you can go in and look at just the top facing values. You can take that as a mask here. Then go in here. Then you get this, and then now you have a mask that only affects the tops of things. Once I adjust it a little bit. Like this kind of. That's kind of the idea. So yeah, so it doesn't affect the sides. And we get a little bit of punching those grass a little bit. Where I feel like we're missing it. We can also bring it up a little bit. Yeah, you know, something like that. And then I've begun to do this thing recently where I throw in like lens flares. I've never ever done lens flares before. I'm still very new to lens flares, but I'm sure there's some people out there who are really good at putting on lens flares. So I just grab a lens flare. Oh, that's not a good lens flare. Like that. Just slam it in. Screen. And then you just kind of bada bing, bada boom. And then I just there you go, morph it out. And then you change the red actually. There's a nice contrast to everything. There you go, you know? Then you have an image. Yeah, it's it'd probably be a little bit better if you spent a bit more time, but we got some interest, you know. I really wanted these rings to be way more visible and things, and some of the other shots will show that a lot nicer, you know. If we go back to our Blender scene, then we're definitely gonna have some stuff that but this is pretty much the technique I used for the stuff that I've been making recently, you know, like these kind of things. Like these are all quite fast, and they could have way better detail with some of these grounds and things, but they get the point across. And I think I made, you know, like this thing took me like a day to make, you know, like this kind of stuff. This took like a day making all of this, you know, so it's pretty fast. And there are some very rough corners here and there, like you could spend way more time to make it a lot nicer. But for me right now, strange enough, it's all about quantity, because I'm trying to pump out all this stuff about this world, Black Horizon, and I'm trying to give the world life and areas to live in, so I've had to adopt a pretty, like a quantity over quality. So it's kind of like, okay, I need to mix good design with good speed, right? So that's where we're at. But I think we're gonna start wrapping this thing up. I hope that this was enjoyable. I hope you got something out of it. I definitely had a lot of fun making this thing. It was super fun. That's yeah, you know, somehow the Blender one has a little bit more energy. This was pretty rough, but still. I appreciate everyone sticking around to watch this. This was it was great fun having you all around. Really appreciate it. We'll definitely do this again. I don't know if I keep saying it's gonna be on Thursday, but then I do it on Saturday instead. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Thursday. Maybe it'll be Saturday. Maybe both. But this is great fun. I'll leave it here for now. We have to end technically on tax evasion tips. How to evade taxes. There's something about in Denmark that if you do art, then like if you do art for friends, then you don't have to pay MOPs or something like that. I mean, if you had to pay MOPs, you would always have to pay MOPs, but you don't have to put MOPs. So MOPs in Denmark is sales tax, so you don't have to put sales tax on the stuff that you're doing. So that's a way of dodging taxes. You can so you just go and you be like, oh yeah, all this client work I did for some big company, Blizzard, whatever, was for a friend. Taxes evaded. See what I did there? Yeah, I'm also getting tired. Thank you all for sticking around. I really enjoyed it. See you all in the next one.